I'm rolling.
I am rolling. What? Rolling.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man.
What are you doing over there?
We don't know. I'm roiding.
Gone off that
You're
kill.
roiding out?
Everybody step the fuck back. My muscles are swelling.
I got that 7-Eleven muscle milk juice and fucking.
Yeah, I've just started injecting it straight into my ball sack, and all my muscles are expanding rapidly.
First, I was just buying it for the proof of purchase for my Fortnite skins, but then I started drinking it, and and now I can't stop fantasizing about punching holes in drywall.
If I stop drinking the muscle milk, my body will disintegrate, so I have to continue now to consume it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Hello and welcome to Swim Fans, your number one erotic thriller podcast for the week. I'm your co-host. I think that the sandy-haired guy in his underwear was a really good scene. This isn't a bit. I just like that he was in his underwear. I'm Josh McKenzie.
Steve, this is important. Go where? That's right. Go where? What happened in your room? Are you listening? What happened in your room is not an isolated incident. It is something that is happening everywhere. I'm Craig Neeson.
Oh, that's Jen Hawking. She's drunk again. She's never sober.
That ADR was incredible.
Amazing. It was like, oh, he's not like yeah, he uses the N-word in this shop, but someone was like, no, we don't hate him immediately enough. And so the ADR is so
Yeah, I can excuse racism, but I draw the line at excessive alcohol consumption. This week on the pod, we are talking 1988 Bob Swaim film, Masquerade.
Just do it.
Okay, so if you haven't seen Masquerade, this movie stars Rob Lowe. Kim Cattrall is in this movie, and Meg Tilly is the female lead. Okay, so we're like in the Hamptons. Rob Lowe is he's like a professional sailor. So what he does, from my understanding, I didn't know this was a job, but from my understanding is that rich people pay him to drive their boats fast. So he is a poor living in the Hamptons, and right away he has an affair with a married woman played by Kim Cattrall. So he's already got himself in like a little bit of a sort of interesting situation. And then enter Olivia. So she is a young woman. She's just graduated from college at the start of the movie. Her mother and father are dead, so she is the inheritor of like $200 million, like some astronomical amount. But due to some strange clause in her mother's will, her stepfather, who she hates and who hates her, is continuing every quarter to collect like hundreds of thousands of dollars. So like he's just, due to the will her mother left behind, continuing to benefit from this inheritance. Olivia has no legal recourse to either take the money from him or to remove him from any of the houses, which he's also entitled to per conditions of the will. So she, she's feeling very frustrated, but she is pleased to meet Rob Lowe's character. His name is Tim. She's pleased to meet Tim. They're both sailors. She's been sailing for a long time, so they sort of hit it off immediately. The last like sort of moving part here is, I believe his name is Mike, and yeah. Mike is the guy from Melrose Place who plays like a young cop. He's Olivia's childhood friend, and he has been carrying a torch for her for seemingly since they were children. So he's happy she's back in town. He wants to pursue her. So already you can see that there's a bunch of hazards presenting themselves. So Olivia and Tim hit it off. They decide to go sailing. They have a really nice time on the boat, and it seems like they're getting quite close. She brings him home, where her stepfather meets him, calls him the weirdest racial slur that I've ever heard in my life. And importantly, her stepfather's live-in girlfriend is there when they meet. So she's able to sort of see him and witness him there. Olivia and Tim, They fall for each other quite quickly. They officially begin dating. And she knows that her stepfather will be out of town. So she has Tim over for the weekend so they can have sex and just chill out. And nobody will be around to sort of see them. Now, this is when the movie sort of begins. There is a scene where the stepdad comes to see Tim, Rob Lowe's character, at a diner on the outskirts of town, and it's revealed that Tim and the stepfather are in on a plan to kill Olivia for the inheritance. What Lowe's character is trying to do is back out of the plan because, it's clear that you can benefit just due to the nature of the money in this family. You can financially benefit without having to kill this, the inheritee. And it's obviously a lot less risky because you don't have to do murder. But the stepdad's like, no, we are killing her. If you're out, then I'll kill you too. So he's like, all right, we'll have to kill her. So Tim and Olivia are having their romantic tryst. The stepdad comes home, as is the plan, because the plan was to make Olivia trust Tim by having him overpower the stepdad. So the stepdad comes home, but Tim double crosses him. And he murders him with the gun that the stepdad brought. So Olivia's like, well, we can't call the cops because if we call the cops, they're going to think we planned this and set it up. So she sort of implicates herself in the murder, and they try to make it look like Tim was not there at all. And that she did it in self-defense. This plan is going excellently. Everybody believes it. These cops are not trying because she's a rich lady and they don't want to ruffle any feathers, as cops will do. Her friend Mike, when he sees that there are a couple loose ends that would sort of hint at another person being there that night, an extra wine glass that shouldn't have been there, he takes care of that evidence for her. So it's all going well, except for Anne, who is the live-in girlfriend of the now dead stepfather, who's like, well, did you ask the boyfriend? Maybe the boyfriend did it. And Anne is going all around town being like, the boyfriend did it, the boyfriend did it, the boyfriend did it. Even going as far as releasing it's a gossip columnist. So who the boyfriend is, who she thinks is implicated in the murder. All that stuff. She tries to get the police to act, but before she can do anything about that, she is found dead by an apparent suicide. She's hanging in her bathroom. And now Mike is like, I wonder if he did do it. Okay. So, we're sort of along on his little detective quest. Olivia and Tim, meanwhile, are falling deeper in love. She proposes to him and he's like, I'm poor. Okay. I used to write bad checks. I was fucking a married lady till 3 days ago, so if you don't want to marry me, that's cool. Just want to be forthcoming about that. She's like, actually, the fact that you were so honest makes me trust you more. So they get married. And they also get pregnant pretty instantly. And so now Tim is an expecting father. So, and now we're going to twist again. Okay. It's not that the stepfather and Tim were in on a plot to kill her for the money. It's that the stepfather and Tim and Mike, okay, the cop, were all in on the plot together. It was a three-way situation. And now that one of them is dead, Mike is like, you've got to ice her. I just want to kill her so bad, this woman. Tim is like, oh yeah, no, I'm definitely going to kill her. So there's several instances where Mike sets up a moment where Tim can kill her and make it look like an accident. But you can see that Tim is sort of not interested in that anymore. He loves her. There's a baby, whatever. So in the final movement of the film, Mike has rigged the boat that Olivia and Tim are going to sail away on to explode, expecting Olivia to get on the boat first. Tim, who has caught wind of the plan, runs to the boat trying to intercept her. Fortunately, Olivia got held up by something, so she didn't get on the boat. Tim did, accidentally completes a circuit, and the boat explodes, killing Tim instantly. Olivia is obviously devastated, confused, and then she finds in Mike's father's office a picture of Mike, the stepfather, and Tim all together, sort of showing that they knew each other from some boat event or whatever. So she's like, holy shit, they were all in on it, and she shoves Mike, her childhood paramour, out a window, killing him instantly. The last scene is Olivia at Tim's funeral, where her lawyer's like, no, man, he didn't want any money from you. He loved you. And that's the last scene of the movie. He like loved you, dude. That's a crazy scene. We can talk about it later. What did she? Oh, by the way, Masquerade is the name of the boat. Okay, that's why it's called Masquerade. I kept waiting for there to be a masquerade ball. That's kind of why I chose the movie.
Yeah. I was all really about people wearing masks and stuff, and then they have like metaphorical ones too.
Yeah, I was really excited for like a Mask of the Red Death situation, an Eyes Wide Shut situation. There's nothing even close to that. What did we think of Masquerade?
I think there's an inkling of a good movie in here somewhere. It feels very like proto Wild Things to me. And I think I'm hitting some friction with just how little really happens in it, and I feel like I'm repeating this criticism a lot lately. But way more happens in this than like Embrace of the Vampire from like 2 weeks ago. But like it's just not enough. Like I really like a twisty erotic thriller. I love a double cross, but I need the movie to like make them matter. And I need the movie to like destabilize the situation, but like a lot of like of this movie is like scenes of the plan going as planned. It's a lot of like waiting for the moment to spring things on each other, and it's not that exciting. I feel like the cop being in on it like doesn't change the fundamental flow of the movie because he's already like an antagonist. And like the reveal that like he's in on it doesn't meaningfully change his place in the movie. And what I want is that those to really matter. And they feel like they're very flimsy and they don't matter. But I mean, I like Rob Lowe, and Meg Tilly is really gorgeous in this. I'm not fully sure why Kim Cattrall is in this. She doesn't really do anything. And she's Kim Cattrall, so she's really pretty, but she doesn't contribute to the plot in any meaningful way. I don't know. There are worse ways you can spend 90 minutes. But I wish it got bigger with its like thriller beats, you know?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I was thinking, I literally had the thought that Masquerade walked so that Wild Things could run. You know, I mean, all the boating. All the kind of like high society, you know, rich people, poor people that is kind of like an underdeveloped here really gets hammed up in an amazing way in Wild Things. Yeah, but this movie is like understated, and you're right. One of the things I was having like an issue with is I'm like, why do I want the cop to leave them alone? Because like, you know, he's in the position that we usually like adopt when someone's trying to unravel something. Like, you know, we're behind his shoulder, and, you know, we know things that he doesn't, but we're trying to, like, you know, get to the bottom of things, like really clear the air, get to the truth. But he's an asshole. He's a cop. He's despicable. And you're right. Once it's revealed that he's been in on it, which is really funny, you know, there's the double cross, which is like, I'm in with your stepdad. And then there's like, the double cross of the double cross, where it's like, oh, the thing that was supposed to happen in the bedroom with me like coming in waving a gun, like you killed me, and so you double crossed when you're doing a double cross, and then the cop is like, I'm triple cross. It's like all right. I mean, clearly someone wrote this with one hand down their pants and the other, you know, on the keyboard, which is great. I mean, it's a mystery writer. A thriller writer's fucking like wet dream to have this many crosses, and I can like vibe with the movie in that way. But you're right, nothing explodes. It's like, you know, I spent the majority of this movie being like, just leave them alone, just let Meg Tilly have money and have sex. Like just stop. There's no reason anyone needs to die anymore. Please. There are far too many bodies. I mean, the movie starts with the specter of Meg Tilly's mother having died, and then it's like, then she kills her stepdad, and then her fucking husband, and then her stepdad's lover she's murdered by the cop, and then her boyfriend explodes, and then she kills the cop. It's like this movie has like so many bodies, but the bodies just don't like matter. Like I don't know that I've ever seen like a more like less impactful death or something. I want to say that I enjoyed this movie, and like solid 3 stars. I'm gonna front load this film in case you were titillated by what I was gonna rate this motherfucker.
Whoa.
But you know, like there's a like Body Heat does like a really good job of like, oh shit, like we hit the body or whatever, and like, oh, it's all gonna come up, and you know the movie is hot, everyone is sweating, and it's like, oh my god, the specter of the crime that's been committed, it's too much, you know. There's so much anxiety that's laced through the film. And then this movie is just like, what if Meg Tilly was wearing the softest, whitest thing, and she was in like the greatest apartment on the planet? And that's, I think, where the joy for me in the film was. Is like, you know, there's something about Meg Tilly's just presentation and disposition here that is like very like I want to be her. And I know that
true, girl.
I know that's like a misread. I'm not supposed to have that reaction to the movie. Like that's diagnosable in some way. Like I understand that. Like it's, but like that's where the joy was coming. Because I think there is really something special about Meg Tilly. And Josh and I were talking before we started recording. Why wasn't she in more? You know, like as soon as it started rolling, I was like, God damn it! I need to see Body Snatchers again. I need to hear that monologue again. Like the timbre of her voice is so fucking like crazy. It's soft, but it has like this like sharpness at the same time. It's very delicate, but very like piercing. She's just like an amazing spectral figure to behold on a screen, and for that reason, and perhaps that reason alone, I thought this was pretty fucking great.
Yeah, I liked this. I liked the twists. I mean, I agree that like when it twisted again, you were just like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like, like I mean,
he's
but
still
I like
the bad guy.
I liked the audacity that they were going to be like, whoa, what if there was a third guy in on it? And I was like, yeah, all right, sure. Sure, why not? I really loved Meg Tilly in this. She has like a dreaminess to it, because like she really, even by the end of the movie, has no clue like what she was in. Like it was like Mr. Magoo like trying to like kill like Meg Tilly's character in this movie. But yeah, she has such a fun presence. She feels like a girl who is probably very sheltered, but also like, you know, she's not afraid to like take charge of her life now that, you know, her parents are dead. And so she really balances all of that, and like she really feels like within her like sort of dreaminess, there's like a lot of range there. And she was, you know, easily my favorite performance in the film. I did sort of expect, because what the movie sets you up with, all right, is that Lo's character has a relationship with Kim Cattrall, and it's like she's not going to leave her husband, but she's obviously unhappy because her husband is like a boat sexual. So she's happy to have like a young stud who can pipe. And then you've got Olivia, who has caught the eye of like the local tyrant. You know what I mean? So like I felt like their love was going to be sort of threatened by these two opposing forces. Like, because if I didn't make it clear, Cattrall's character's husband is the boss of Tim. So that's like the way that he makes money. So obviously, if he were to find out about the affair, that probably wouldn't go super good for his job. And then, of course, like, you know, if you have like an armed man who keeps following you everywhere, like that's going to be a bit of like conflict when he finds out that you're in love with somebody else. So like I was like, oh, this is definitely going to come to a head. Fully does not really, because like Kim Cattrall's like, all right, I'm out. Fuck you. Like, how dare you find a different woman even though I'm married and she's rich? Like, totally lame of you. And obviously, like, then the guy, for like no real reason, because like I'm a little confused by his motivations, because like he does seem to like genuinely love her. And then he's also like, yeah, but we have to kill her like so much. We have to do it. We've really got to take her out. And so I'm a little confused because he seemed to be really like genuinely in love with her. So like it was just sort of like a weird twist, I guess. But overall, I sort of liked the cut of the movie's jib. I liked that it was just like a little like sort of stupid mystery. I actually didn't expect for them to just like kill Rob Lowe's character. I was somewhat surprised by that. It was a rat based murder.
Yeah.
You don't see those that often.
Our first rat based death on the pod, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is a very okay movie.
One thing I was concerned about, Rob Lowe, I think, has played antagonist in his career quite often, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I mean, once it's revealed that he's in on it, I was like, oh, well, he's not going to be able to sell it. One of the things I found remarkable is that he is actually able to sell the fact that he is like in love. Actually, perhaps better than he is that he's in love than he wants money. And I think that's where the movie's like wires get twisted or something. I don't really like what he says, to after the murder of the stepdad, or no, maybe it's a cop. But it's like I don't feel like he's a killer either. Like it's like two people in love, and then like this guy is like getting hounded, like, have you killed your wife yet? Like, I'm getting a little mad. It's like a cop.
Kill your wife.
Yeah. The cop is just like, it's a scene from Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, and instead of the guy with one arm yelling at Leland Palmer, it's a cop in a squad car being like, kill your wife. It's like, Rob Lowe is. It's interesting to see him so young. He has this. He has this baby face and this like very like he's a baby. He's a baby here. And Kim Cattrall in kind of like standard fashion, which would be like her like Sex in the City like thing, is like, she's like Cougar. She's playing Cougar. Which, I mean, if there's anyone to play that role, it's her. It's just, yeah, like there's no, like, every character is the character that they enter as, like they enter as whatever they were, and then they exit as, and even the fact of like Rob Lowe being like, I'm gonna die for, well, I mean, he's not intending to die, but he's like, I'm gonna save my wife. It's like that's like the same character that we're introduced to, right? Like, it's not, and the fact that the movie feels like it needs to like be like, oh, he totally didn't want your money. That's how the movie is communicating that there was true love between the two characters, is that he didn't want her money actually. And it's like, if that's not like ineffective or like,
right, we've seen him murder someone.
It's anemic. It's like the fact that like
it's like
the
a Hallmark ending.
It's a Hallmark ending with like, but a Hallmark wouldn't ever even be that cheesy, like they would use something else besides like, he wasn't in it for the money. It's like, well, fuck, who cares about the money now? He just, a rat exploded him. Like
it's a minute long scene where her trusted lawyer is like, he begged me to remove himself from the will. I literally begged him not to. It was against your wishes, but he said no. I don't want any money from her.
I did so much malpractice. He was so convincing.
Yeah, do you know what it is? It's very much like goes into surgery for like my heart surgery, and the boyfriend's there like, I'll see you when you wake up, babe. And then you wake up and she's like, where's my boyfriend? And the doctor's like, where do you think the new heart came from? It's like very bad.
Holy shit, that is the ending of the movie. Really, oh fuck.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, is that like, I think anemic is a good word for it, because there's not like enough malice in this movie for like for like a three-way murder plot to be going on. Rob Lowe like loves her instantly. I think this is sort of what you were saying. Like, there's no part where he's trying to like deceive her or like getting good with her. And then because we've seen this storyline a lot, right? Like we've seen She's All That, iconic 5-star movie She's All That, where it's like, I'm pulling a scheme on you, but actually I love you, but it's too late. I'm in too deep, right? So and they do try to spice that up by having like 2 twists in there, but like there's not enough malice in here. There's not enough like gaming this poor rich girl before it's just like actually everybody loves you and nothing bad happens to you.
And it's like I thought they're gonna do something because like Rob Lowe can have kind of an edge to him. Like he can be kind of like loose cannon with it pretty well, but that didn't really happen. There was like maybe the one scene at the diner where he's talking to the stepfather or whatever, but then even then he's like, no, what if we like change the plan and like we keep her alive and I get married to her and I just love her forever. And he's
what if I fuck around and find true love? Like, wouldn't that be crazy?
What if we do an alternate plan where we just live with her forever? It's very strange.
Yeah, because like I don't know. So I didn't include this yet either, but this movie was written by Dick Wolf, who you may know as the Law and Order guy.
Oh my God.
This was his. There was an interview with Rob Lowe where apparently like this movie like catapulted Dick Wolf into making Law and Order. So take that for what you will, but it does feel like a long episode of Law and Order. I don't know, somehow less juicy, I guess.
Yeah, this movie didn't do very well, right? And so like I think it was like through the failure of this, Dick Wolf went on to like switch to TV and made Law and Order or something.
Yeah. Incredible gay porn name, by the way. That he should give that name up for somebody who really needs it.
Make-A-Wish Foundation his name. Yeah.
Yeah, give that to some struggling OnlyFans guy who really needs the help. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's like my big, because like I think the movie's like extremely like okay. Like I don't think it like completely fails anywhere. But like, I mean, you do have like they did go out of their way to be like, by the way, you're fucking your boss's wife, and that's like minute 1.5.
Yeah,
like that's like the first thing Rob Lowe does is like fuck his boss's wife, and then to just have her be like, oh, I hate you actually. And then like the last time you see her, she like almost starts a fight between Olivia and Tim, but Tim's like, oh, she's lying. Don't be mad.
I mean, it's so crazy that the boat is named like Obsession, and like it's like, oh man, he's fucking he's the captain of the ship and he's fucking this guy's wife while he's away, and like it doesn't matter. Like
no,
like the husband is just very cool with everything. He wants to have a hot wife and to have a captain who's good at sailing and and good at fucking his wife. I mean, it's like he's got 2 employees in one. It's great. It saves him a lot of money come tax season.
Yeah, in fact, the husband, his boss, is so okay with it that he hires him for more, longer work. And I'm like, incredible game to have cocked this guy into steady employment.
I mean, if that isn't the dream, I don't know what is.
Truly. But yeah, I mean, like, because I mean, she does have such a presence. I know that she was in at least one other Swim Fans movie. In a supporting role, I think.
Kim Cattrall.
And so, yeah.
Oh, God.
It was a while ago, but she was definitely in at least one other movie we talked about on the show. And I mean, she's got like, I mean, I feel like she's the favorite on Sex and the City. Like, I feel like everybody likes Samantha. So like, it just seems crazy to sort of not give her anything to do. When she's an actress who really does have that power to sort of like like go evil mode when she wants to. Like if she wanted to like pop off, she could have, and that would have been like she would have done well at that. But then to have her be like, well, actually you're mean, and then walk away was just like a crazy choice to include it in your runtime. And it's not a long movie either.
No, it's 90 minutes. She was in Crossroads, the Britney Spears movie.
Holy shit. Oh my God.
Real heads will remember the time when they push a girl down the stairs in Crossroads, which is a crazy tonal move.
You've never seen shit like that in a road trip movie. I'll tell you what.
But no, that's a really good point. Is that like there are two boats. There is the boat that Tim is hired to do. So that's the Obsession. Very evocative name, you might think. And then
I
Olivia
wish anyone
owns
was obsessed in this movie.
100%. And then Olivia's boat is called the Masquerade. A word that brings to mind hiding one's intentions, not revealing the truth to oneself. You might think that these words like obsession brings to mind a relentless pursuit, even in the face of self-destruction. Moby Dick, in fact, is something that comes to mind when thinking of the sea.
Yep.
None of that matters. You might as well have called the boat Janine
Sex.
and Greg.
I'm captain of the SS Kim Cattrall.
Yeah. I'm captain of the boat, Untitled Boat. Like they just don't matter, and they're such evocative, like erotic thriller words. It was a crazy choice. I don't know what's going on there, Dick.
I'm captain of the ship Sorcerer.
Yeah.
So a thought that I had while I was watching this, and you maybe you would disagree with this, is that like the way the first like big reveal of Rob Lowe and then the like evil stepfather who's also the guy who plays Daniel Clamp in Gremlins 2. When they're talking in the diner, I get that like the movie is like laying the groundwork for the scene where Rob Lowe like double crosses him, but it also like removes all of the tension from that scene until the scene's basically over and Rob Lowe shoots him. And like I get that, right? It needs to show you that Rob Lowe has double crossed Daniel Clamp from Gremlins 2, but like I don't know, it just feels so like it wasn't built up correctly, or they're not revealing it correctly, or they're using the wrong devices to tell this story, because it seems like the reveal that they're in on it together is like way bigger than the reveal of like the double cross murder. And like the way the movie's structured, I don't know, I feel like they should have revealed that they were in on it together like after the plan had already gone bad, because there's something just so like whatever about that scene, and it seems like that scene should be nuts, like it should be like a really high tension scene.
Yeah, the scene where he kills the stepdad.
Yeah. Because like we at this point we know that they're both in on it. Like they both know the thing is going to happen, and I get that it doesn't play out that way, but it seems like there should be some amount of tension to a man to watching a man swing a gun around, but there's not. Does that make sense?
Well, because it is such an anticlimax. Like, it's not even like he doesn't like, there's no like Evil Dead scene where he like blows a hole through the stepdad's head and you like truck out through the bullet hole. Like, it's just like, it's very like, I guess how it would be in real life if you shot a guy in the chest. It's just sort of like you just cap a guy and then it's over. But you're right, because like this is like, this is where the plot of the movie really gets started, and we're aware they're working together, but I don't think we yet know that they like had like a personal relationship, because like they don't really hint at that in their conversation. So it doesn't feel like Lowe is truly in like uncharted waters here. Like he's truly transgressed. He's transgressed the homies for a woman, a plot that has never happened in history before. So
he's put hoes before bros.
This has never been an issue in all of history, but it's just It is sort of an anticlimax. It's just sort of like they spend more time talking about how they're going to call the cops than they do about the betrayal.
That scene's weird to me. It doesn't sit well or something. It just feels sloppy.
Yeah. Well, and the scene where she's figuring out what to do is so like back and forth when she like picks up a gun and she's like, oh, I'm going to fire another round off into the wall. And I'm like, that's going to make a more confusing forensic situation now.
Just like, why wouldn't you just call the cops? Like, you could just, the guy who would say the other thing is dead now.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you just be like, yeah, he broke in on us with a gun and we wrestled away from him, we shot him and he died. Like, that's like it was self-defense. Like, you're good. Movie solved.
Well, right. And then the whole thing is like, Love's like, oh, we have to call the cops. We have to do it. I have to tell the whole truth. And at the time you're like, why, man? Like get out of here. Why? And then you're like, oh, it's because the cop is in on it. But then I'm not really sure how like that makes it better.
Right.
Because now the cop, you're going to meet him face to face where you're like, hey, I fucked up the plan, actually. I hope that's fine. And I'm confused about why he was so like ardent about calling the police. And again, that scene is like 2 minutes long, whereas the murder is like 20 seconds.
Yeah. And you know, what is typically, you know, in a murder situation where, you know, they decide to lie about it, instead of it becoming a ticking time bomb or an opportunity to insert tension or anxiety, it fumbles the ball. Like, it makes it very unclear to the audience, I think, what the plan is. What the characters are thinking. I mean, like the movie, as we just discussed, it does like tell you later, retroactively, you know, that they were in on it, or it was like the cop was going to be there regardless or some shit. But there's no, like, the way that the characters handle it, and the way that, like, even, I get that they're, like, protecting the girl from being charged the next day, but she just starts, like, going to balls again afterwards. Once he's dead, he's dead. You know, she's not, like, looking over her shoulder. She doesn't have, like, PTSD. She's not like, what have we done? She's just like, what if I wore this cute little negligee at the Manhattan apartment? Right there, it's like really confused because there's so many conspirator cooks in the kitchen, and you don't really know what a particular character is experiencing at any given moment because of the unfocused nature of the writing. It's just like he's dead now, and that's it. It's wasted.
Well, and I'm actually like a little confused about their plan. Okay, so they invent this, and I don't know if this is real.
It's a bird-brained shenanigan they're trying to get away with.
Yeah, well, because I don't know if this is real. If you are a like inheritance lawyer and you listen to the Erotic Thriller podcast #1, it comes out every Thursday. Never missed a Thursday. If you listen, please let me know, because
please
it seems like they
invented clients about this show.
Tell every client who's on the verge of killing her husband about this show.
We got some plans.
It just seems like this is a major contrivance to be like, oh yeah, by the way, this will is weird in that if you marry a woman of this family, you get $200,000 every quarter. I'm like, does like anybody set up their like trusts like that? Like, I don't understand. So they have to make this insane contrivance where there's an actual financial reason for Rob, because he doesn't love her yet. So Rob Lowe's got to be like, well, maybe we don't have to kill her. We can just like collect over time. And then you think, oh, maybe there will be conflict here because once she says she's pregnant, obviously that child will become the inheritor of the estate, not any like romantic partner or whatever. But all the tension is sucked out of that instantly because like, loser ex-husbands get a trust fund for the rest of their life. So I'm a little confused about how that works. If that's real, let me know. But like, it seems like they had to like really make a confusing plan here, because now it's like, well, yeah, I mean, maybe you should just like leech off of her for the next 50 years. I mean, it's that.
You're in a pretty good spot, man.
Like what? Yeah, because they made this contrivance where like and that's the thing about the contrivance is I'm not sure how that makes them benefit more. Like because like they went out of their way to do like will magic and they're like but we're still gonna have to kill her. We have to like marry her, and then nothing else outside of a standard inheritance situation is going to be factored into this plan. And I'm like, so then what are we doing? What are we doing here? I don't know. The plan didn't make any sense to me.
No, I like. Also, I don't think I get why the cop was in on it too. Other than they won a boating championship together or something.
Like money.
Like I couldn't figure out who. Just what we were doing here.
Yeah, and that's the problem because like again, he seems to really love her. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't seem to be duplicitous. And then when he's like, actually, I'm trying to murder her, and I'm like, oh, why? Like I don't know why any of this is happening. Like I don't know how. Yeah, and then and there's no establishment about not only how they know each other, but also like. How close are they? Like apparently close enough to plan a murder. But like, yeah, I don't know. Like it seems like he would still be closer to her than the homies, but what do I know?
Yeah, and I mean the cop is also a night side of the Rob Lowe character, insofar as we also don't really know his motivation. Rob Lowe accuses him of only wanting Meg Tilly dead. He doesn't care about the money. I mean, it seems to be confirmed by the ending where he suddenly, the fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He's just like, I'm going to murder you in my dad's boathouse. There's people outside, but I don't give a fuck. This pipe wrench is going through your skull. So that seems to hold water. And also he's a cop, so, I mean, one naturally figures that their inclination is to murder a woman. But, like, you know... But it's like, what skin does he have in the game? Because it's like he's known her since he was a child, and then you know they have that scene like, oh, you know, when you were 12, you told me we would get married, and then she's like, that's a bad dream, and he's like, okay. So it's like, is this some cop incel dumb, or is this cop money grubbing? But he's also killing people that don't need to die necessarily. I mean, he could square this circle by doing what most cops do and just killing the people that they want to kill.
Well, yeah, and then it's like that was really confusing as well because it's like, okay, she had like she doesn't understand the scope of the plan. Like she sees a photo of 3 men in her life standing together, 2 of which are dead. One is whose demise is imminent, right? So she doesn't like quite understand what's going on, and so you're gonna kill her with like a boat instrument, like that doesn't get you paid. That doesn't get you out of this situation because it's like you're the only guy in the room with the dead woman beaten to death with a boat implement. Like what are we? I don't understand what's going on. I don't know. The cop is the weirdest one. It doesn't make any sense.
I want clearer motivations for each of them. I don't know. Is it like Parasite? Is it like did one of them get into the family and then they were like, yeah, and then you cop, you were friends with her, so you're gonna come in, and then we're gonna get this guy to come in to do this other part. We're gonna play 3 sides of her. Like,
yeah,
like was part of the plan. Daniel Clamp from Gremlins 2 gets married to her mom.
I sort of suspect that our man Dick Wolf wrote the movie and he's like, what if there was a second twist like after the movie was set up?
Yeah.
And then he forgot that that's going to have ripple effects through the rest of the plot of the movie.
So that's it's been a long time since I've seen Wild Things. I don't think I've seen it since we did our episode on it. But the thing that sticks out about like the format of that movie is that it like cuts around a lot. Like it there's a lot of stuff it doesn't show you to then go back in time and show you. And so like it's like this really convoluted plan of all these crisscrossing like alliances and stuff, but it's like told in a way to just like elevate tension at every possible moment. And it seems like
Yeah.
they want to have like a similar kind of plan here, but I don't know if it's the director, I don't know if it's Dick Wolf. They just don't know how to show it or something. So it's insanely convoluted, but then it's also not that tense. So it's kind of just getting the worst of both worlds. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like this is for the photographers in the audience. Like, you know how if you like put too many lights on something, it sort of flattens out. Like there's no more dimension anymore. You've flattened it out. We're seeing too much of this movie, like to the point where we're always acutely aware of what Lowe's motivations are, what he's going to do, where his alliances lie. We're always too aware of the plot. We're always too aware that like at the end of the day, it's probably going to be fine. Like I didn't necessarily expect Lowe's character to die, but like if that's the biggest gag of the movie, then I don't think it was a particularly strong thriller. So like, yeah, there was just too much illumination for the audience as to what was happening at any given time. And like the plot couldn't really surprise you because you knew who knew everybody, who knew what at all times.
And I think there should be a scene where like Meg Tilly like figures out what happens and like confronts Rob Lowe about it, because there's no payoff. He just he dies in a rat-based explosion.
Yeah. Well, which is sort of like a detriment to her character, because like I don't know, I feel like the movie sets her up at the beginning as this sort of like, yes, she's insanely rich, but she's like, I don't know, one of those rumored decent rich people who has like a head on their shoulders or whatever. Like she seems to like be self-possessed. And then immediately proceeds to like buy everything given to her, to the point where she's like, to the point where she, following a scene where some family member is like, hey, look out, men want you for your money. She's like on a boat and she's like, marry me, legally become entitled to my assets. We've known each other for a very brief time. By the way, you've told me that you're a committed fraudster, but I like that you said that to me. Marry me.
I can fix you.
Yeah, it's just, and yeah, the fact that she's like essentially clueless, and then at the end continues to remain clueless. Yeah, it's sort of a disservice to
like, what are we doing?
The woman they gave us. Yeah,
because they try to get the like her realizing what happens scene or whatever in the scene where she kills the cop, but like no, she doesn't. She sees a photo and she says, and like there's so much more that isn't shown in that photo about their plan. Like the misdirects and the first murder, right?
Yeah.
None of that's illustrated in that old photograph.
She's just really, really good at interpreting photographs.
Yeah.
She knew by the figure ground relationship. It's like she could read the fucking tea leaves. No, it's great. It's like she sees the picture of some bros being dudes, and it's like, oh my god, they were in on it. They were all fucking in on it.
And then they're
like those body language experts, like, oh no, this one's leaning at 18 degrees, so he's the beta in the 3.
We see from her point of view, and there's a green. There's a green diagonal line of who's leaning.
Yeah. They're doing phrenology to her spine. Yeah, for sure. No, and then like they can't even like let you like end on that fairly neutral note. They have to be like, oh no, she's not sad. Don't worry, it was true love the whole time. He begged me not to get paid. It was crazy. I've never seen anything like it. 60 years in the law mines, and I've never seen anybody make this decision. It must have been true love. And it's like, I guess. I suppose so.
Didn't get that from the him trying to sabotage his own plan at every turn.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. He spends the whole... This is my Letterboxd review, is I've never seen a guy try this hard to not kill his wife. Like in the history of cinema, nobody's ever worked this hard to not do a spouse murder. It's wild. Do you guys have any final thoughts about Masquerade?
You don't need to watch this.
You could pass on this. Like, we haven't touched on this either, but like the movie is set in a locale where theoretically you could be given some very tasty vistas Lots of great fabric, lots of
Screaming
great,
for it.
ballrooms and wealth and affluence and beaches and so on, and we really don't get to see it. And that's kind of like it's a wasted opportunity because the film also doesn't have like texture, like the texture of the town, the texture of the environment. Yeah, it doesn't consider that at all.
Well, then it also doesn't have a very good grasp on like opulence either.
No,
Like
no.
you look at like Meg Tilly's room, it's not that different from like anyone else on the planet's room.
No.
Like when they're in the mansion, it doesn't really look like it's a mansion. It could just be like any kind of house. I don't know. There's just something. Yeah, you're right, Craig. There's this like not the texture that you need to tell a story like this just kind of isn't really there.
Well, I gave this 3 stars. I think it's possibly the okayest movie I've ever seen.
Yeah. 3.
3 stars. It is a movie.
Yeah, it's more functional than Embrace of the Vampire. That's for certain.
Yeah.
But at what
Just
cost?
barely.
You know what I mean?
Not that much more functional.
Great. Thank you so much for listening.
We have questions.
Oh, stunning. Hit me.
First question comes from Carlos. You are at a social gathering and someone mentions that you have a podcast. What do you do?
Ooh. Okay, so you're like outed by somebody else at the gathering about the podcast.
Yeah. This happened to me today.
Wow.
But I think everyone kind of knew that I did this, although they didn't really understand the specifics of it. And I did what I always do, and I encourage them not to listen to it.
Well, I would. I trust that most people that I meet on like a acquaintance-based situation just aren't that interested in what I do with my time. So I'm like, oh, it's a movie podcast I do with my friends from college. We're all artists, and we all have thoughts on movie criticism. And then I don't tell them about the subject matter because I assume they won't Google it later.
Right, of course.
So, yeah, I guess I just downplay it if I had to put it into words.
At one point, I was at a work gathering, and one of my coworkers said, oh, we Googled everyone here, and they went to each person in down the table, and they said what they found when they Googled them, and then they skipped me. I don't know what to make of that because we made eye contact, and then it was clear that like maybe they didn't want to like tell people that I did this.
The fuck?
I guess that was nice.
Yeah, that was very kind of her. Thank you.
I lean into it now. No, I go full bore. I'm like fucking pants down, just like a fucking pervert. I tell them exactly how long it's lasted. I tell them, the hundreds of films I've seen that no other human being has seen. I used to be a little like coy or something about it, or played it like a little close to the chest. But at this point, I'm just like, fuck it, like erotic thriller podcast, we ball.
We've seen the
It's
worst
so
shit,
brave.
so you don't have to.
Yeah,
it's happened.
Yeah.
I may have told this story once. I was at a rave and with friend of the pod Dana Kim, and someone else asked me what do I do, and I said I host a podcast, and Dana Kim was like, stop, don't tell people that.
Well, that's actually great because that's actually very smart of her because you do live in a coastal elite city where everybody has a podcast. And like I would say a good 30% of them are like crypto-fascist podcasts. So it's probably good for your social life that she stopped you.
Dana likes Secret Service leaping out in front of that bullet.
I got a few nice comments from Naji Kirima and Yuri about my transition. Thank you guys. Love you guys. Then Yuri asks, could you talk more about your opinions on the current state of gay cinema? Personally speaking, I think they have been so narrow-minded in their conceits, as if I'm watching the same narrative over and over again. Queer women films have been way more interesting. He says he also likes Love Lies Bleeding a lot, and his first thought was, why can't gay directors do cool things like this? I think this echoes kind of what you were getting at, Josh. Could you expand on it more?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I agree. Well, I mean, so I have said pretty much what Yuri said, so it seems that we're in accord. You do see sort of the same stories over and over again, like vaguely, and I mean vaguely, not even to the point where it's an aesthetic choice, but vaguely melancholic stories about men who meet at a function in a city like New York or Los Angeles or San Francisco or London, you know, where the gays are, right? And they have like the okayest hookup of all time, but maybe something sort of troubling occurs to one of them, and they end up staying together for a few nights, and then they part. And that's the movie. And it's like every movie is like variations on that, or like, you know, some of them might be a little more violent, or some of them might be a little more horny or whatever, but like it's very much locked in the sphere of like two contemporary, fairly attractive men. They're together, but they don't stay together for XYZ not that exciting social reason. And I just think we're limiting ourselves. I don't know why we're doing that. I think I think partly it's like we talked about with Delaney Jordan. Gays forgot how to yearn. Grindr has made it too easy. Nobody's yearning for the quarterback of the football team anymore because they can just like log on to the internet and see Hole whenever they want to. Mm-hmm. And so like part of it is that. And like, I don't know if like genre media is like unpopular. I mean, not in the gay men that I know, you know, but like maybe more mainstream directors think it's unpopular. Like we want to see like episodes of Looking over and over again. And it's like, I swear to God, you're two men having sex. Get weird, get like upsetting, get metaphor. If I would pay money for a visual metaphor at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, even like 1/90th of what Charlie Kaufman is doing in Synecdoche, New York. Maybe they fuck in a house that's burning. I don't know. Give me anything to think about outside of like, oh, these two guys, they're not going to stay together.
I'm really not plugged into like gay cinema at all. Is there like a high profile example of a movie like this that came out recently?
What comes to mind, and I'm not picking on this director per se because I have the movie on Blu-ray and I haven't actually watched it yet, but in 2011 he made a movie called Weekend, and I believe it was 2023, maybe 2024, he made a movie called All of Us Strangers, and I think it's like kind of the same movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's like Weekend is about like, again, I haven't seen either of these movies. I'm sure they're fine because like, I don't think the gay movies are bad. They're just the same and they're just not that exciting. But it's like two guys from different walks of life get together, and like the movie's called Weekend. I presume they spend the weekend together, and then they part. And it seems that All of Us Strangers is much the same thing. But if you'll remember, even like on the podcast, like that's not that dissimilar from the plot of like Stranger by the Lake. I mean, Stranger by the Lake, I suppose, has a murder in it, you know, but like it's like
a lot of suck offs.
Yeah, and it's like, and so like the sort of like the genre trappings or like anything like that is always supplanted by the suck off. And I'm like, I know. I was a young gay boy, all right? I know it got weird, okay? I know that we can get weird again. We just have to try. And, you know, I think I'm gonna stop talking about this, but like I think because there are so many, and I sort of understand why this happens, because I think in the aughts it was really refreshing to see this, because you did have shows like Looking, and to a lesser extent Queer as Folk, because Queer as Folk is a lot, I think it's more elevated personally, but like Looking is pretty grounded. And so it was refreshing then to see, you know, like gay men like living lives and having like the sort of like vaguely melodramatic situationships that like heterosexual people on TV had gotten for decades, right? So like I think in the aughts there was like a real hunger for that kind of thing. And like, in my opinion, I want to see like a werewolf cowboy get railed. I mean, like, like I don't know. Like turn your metaphor for like longing for the touch of another man into some sort of like horror thriller. I don't know, just anything else. Just to mix it up.
Ross, one of our listeners on Letterboxd, pointed out that guy who did Stranger by the Lake has a new gay thriller out.
Yeah, I've got to see it. And like, actually, like, not to like sort of cut against everything I'm just saying, like I'm pretty slow to see these like sort of like slow paced, like gay, vague melodramas, because they're just, I mean, they're usually pretty. They're usually like well acted. They're just not, they don't transport me, I guess. Ginger Snaps transports
no
me.
muscle.
They're no muscle. Like, somebody rip off an arm. And
do you have any examples of like gay movies you really thought were really good?
Greg Araki's are really great. I think Gus Van Sant, who we haven't really talked about on the podcast, has like some amazing movies. I saw like Mala Noche like a year ago. It was so much more exciting because like it was very low budget, and you're watching this guy sort of like pine for this. I actually think the guy he's pining for was a teenager, but it's the 80s. What do you want me to say? But like it was a lot grittier, a lot more interesting for that reason. And like I really loved My Own Private Idaho, another Van Sant movie. That one was really fun. It was River Phoenix and Keanu Reeves, and there was like this very stilted sort of like, they were like adapting like Shakespearean English into like the modern day. So they were like talking about like scoring heroin from a squat, but it was like what light through yonder squat, you know, whatever. Like it's just and like it was like a contrivance that I wasn't like in love with, but it was at least interesting. Like it kept my attention. So I mean, like I personally, for me, I'm very drawn to like the new queer cinema movement. I'm really fond of filmmakers from like the early mid 90s. It seemed like we were a little less focused on like matters of representation at that time, so it was just kind of a little more interesting. I'm gonna get off my high horse here, but like, yes, Yuri, I agree. I think from the movies that I'm aware of, obviously I'm not an authority on the matter, but the ones that I'm most typically made aware of are often sort of samey. I do think movies that are about gay women do tend to be a little more adventurous. I would love, this is like the 14th episode I've said this. I would love to see that like more time spent on a genre picture. I think you would be surprised by how well it would be received.
How was Call Me by Your Name? I never watched that.
It was.
Is that one? Is another one of those movies?
No, Calling Me by Your Name kind of went for it, right? Because I mean, like Armie Hammer's playing like a guy in his 20s, and Timothée Chalamet is supposed to be like a 15-year-old. So like already there, you got a little bit of sizzle on it. It's already a little like risque. I mean, what's his face is like a really like interesting director. I gotta be honest, I didn't like think about it too much after I left. I thought I liked the Sufjan Stevens songs that he made for the movie more than I liked the movie, I think. So, I mean, like, I don't think it's like a bad film, but no, I don't. It's not one that I think about. I think about Muscle more often.
Craig, do you have any thoughts on this?
Oh, I would just echo everything Josh said. Yeah, there's so many avenues that haven't been explored. You can do a gay Holy Mountain. You can do gay Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
Like
Gay
I don't know.
Panic
just like
Room. What are we doing here?
Yeah, there's so many there's avenues left unexplored. It feels like kind of poverty of imagination or something. Everyone's like a little too delicate with it.
Well, and I think you can have these sort of like, I mean, we just did Portrait of a Lady on Fire, which we all loved. And it's like, yeah, because like the movie is very considerate about how it's showing longing, how it's showing desire, how it's like contextualizing those things. There's metaphor in the movie. And I'm like, yeah, you just got to not get to the sucking and the fucking. Just don't get there quite so quick. Cruising. I loved Cruising.
Yeah.
We did that on the show already.
Yeah.
Yeah, just if how do I put this? If you've already seen it, try something else.
Yeah, Gay Batman.
Gay Batman. Hello, I would eat that shit up. You will have me there day one for Gay Batman.
Catwoman's a twink.
Yeah.
Catman. Batman and Catman fuck.
Yeah, Batman, but he gets railed, and you can get railed. All right, it's just like you gotta like, I don't know, give me some sizzle.
Schumacher was trying. I don't think they let him go far enough.
No, that's so funny that you bring that up, because like 3 days ago I was talking about how like the first like crush on like a non-cartoon character that I can remember is Chris O'Donnell playing Robin in Batman Forever. So like he was onto something. He was cooking.
Thank you for the question, Yuri.
But yeah, Yuri, I absolutely agree with everything you're saying. I think that gay men could be a little more interesting.
that is it for questions.
You can find the show wherever you get your podcasts. So that is Blue Sky, Instagram, Letterboxd, Use Your Swim Fans Pod. Or wait, no, let's start that over. You can find the show wherever you get your podcasts. So Apple Podcasts or Spotify or YouTube. Wherever you listen, please rate. Okay, please review. Please subscribe so you can get all of the episodes directly to your mobile device. We can be in your ears at all times, which is good for you. It turns out. You can also find the show on all the social medias, Twitter, or you can find the show on all the social medias, Blue Sky, Instagram, Letterboxd, wherever you hang out, follow us there. And you can find me at all those same spots. User Amons, AMONNS. I saw Thunderbolts, the new Marvel movie.
How was it?
Okay, compliment sandwich. I thought that the movie was smart to base it around Florence Pugh because I think Florence Pugh is a skilled enough actor to like carry emotions enough that the movie like it was fine. It was okay. But like so it's smart to base it around her. The middle of the sandwich is that as spoiler free as I can make this for listeners, the whole movie revolves around them fighting. This is spoilers. Never mind. I give up. The whole movie revolves around them fighting the literal manifestation of depression. Okay. And which is the plot of every Persona game. And I think this does it clunkier and worse. Because like the movie forgets to have kind of like a middle because all right, so there's a character that doesn't have any friends and that's where the depression monster comes from. And all of the characters kind of hate him at the beginning of the movie, but by the end of the movie, they save him with the literal power of friendship. Okay,
Jesus
so
Christ.
But the issue there is that there's no middle of the movie where they like bond as a team or like learn to like each other or even learn to tolerate each other. Like there's one character who actively like outwardly hates him and is like almost going to let him die at the beginning of the movie. And then by the end of the movie, he's like joining in like the Sailor Moon style friendship huddle to save him. And so I'm just like, okay, there's no journey in this movie. There's just a beginning and an end to the movie. The bottom part of the compliment sandwich is that it was okay. It's fine. It was all right. It was more fun than the last time I saw a Marvel movie, I think. Jennifer.
You can follow me on Twitter at Diatron5 or Blue Sky at Diatron5 on Letterboxd Diatron. I saw the new Final Destination movie last night. It absolutely owns. I love those movies. And if you like those movies, you will probably like that one a great deal. I think it's one of the best of the series. I was really worried. It's like a new director, writer team. So I was really worried that it would not really get it or something. But like, no, it got it. I would have been happy with anything with that premise, right? And to see them just like knock it out of the park was like amazing. It's probably my favorite movie of the year so far. But I don't see that many movies in theaters anymore. So it's, whatever. I loved it.
Without saying too much, is it like after all of the other movies in continuity?
Yes. But
okay.
I mean, how much continuity is there in Final Destination movies?
I mean, some of them there's quite a bit.
So I mean, like, there's a lot between like 1 and 2, and then like the continuity. And I was actually a little sad they didn't continue this trope where after the first one, there's like because like you have to explain the concept of Death's design, and that's like really convoluted, but like the audience knows it already from the first one, so they just have the characters just Google it. Like they just Google what happened in the first movie, and then when they move on, and they don't really do that in this one, but they do something that is kind of like kind of a weird interpretation of like Death's design. I don't know. I don't want to go into too much, but like
yeah.
And then
I'm gonna buy a ticket.
Yeah, and then it does tie it into the series as well, in like a really great scene. I went in completely blind, and I had the fucking time of my life. Craig.
You can find me at Craig Neeson on Instagram and Letterboxd, craigneeson.com. I actually haven't seen anything in the intervening week. However, I've been meaning to, and I haven't yet. For those that don't know, AMC will screen things anonymously, like up front or before their release dates. It's like screen unseen. They also have a subgenre of it called Scream Unseen. I have a ticket to see a movie tomorrow night, and I paid $8 for it. And it's almost certainly, from what I've read on Reddit, it's Bring Her Back, which is the follow up to what's the Australian movie where they touch the hand? Talk to Me.
Crocodile Dundee.
Oh, Talk to Me.
Talk
for
to
real?
Me. It's the Philippi brothers or whatever the fuck. And I didn't know anything about the film. I kind of like peripherally had knowledge of it. It's coming out the end of May formally, but it's almost certainly based on the length of the film and other factors. Reddit believes that it's Bring Her Back, and it looks great. I only watched the trailer and I didn't read anything else about it because I kind of want to go in blind to something new in horror, and I'm very excited, and I will report back next week. Bring Her Back.
Hell yeah.
Watch the
Hell yeah.
folks, I guess watch the trailer. The trailer is like really good. I hate to like, I don't know, base a movie and my expectations on it via trailer, but like it's a good trailer. They cut a good trailer. So yeah.
It's Kangaroo Jack 2. He's back.
Oh, we'll see you here for Kangaroo Jacked.
That's not a cock.
That's my wife. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.